Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Lauber here, and today we're working on our Lesson 8 problem set and our Lesson 8 exit ticket review. We are still working on our commutative property. Remember that the commutative property just means that we're changing the factor order, but our product or our total still stays the same. So here's our example. We have 4 times 3, and then over here we have 3 times 4. If you notice, we have the same numbers, 4 and 3. They just flip-flop places, and our total is still 12. That's the commutative property. And we're still working on making our arrays, our pictures of equal rows, okay? You can use squares, you can use circles, you can use X's, as long as everything is in equal rows. So for question number 1 today, I've circled the ones that I'll be working through with y'all. Question 1 says, draw an array that shows 5 rows of 3. So this is very, very, very similar to what we did in yesterday's problem set. So it already tells us what we need to draw. We need to draw 5 rows of 3. Okay, so if you need help, remember rows go horizontally, side to side. So I'm going to draw my 5 rows. This is another way you can do it instead of just doing it from your mind. So watch, 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows. So I made 5 rows. And how many goes in every row? 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And you can leave it like this. And some of you may not even have to draw the lines to help you with the rows. This was just showing this, you another way of doing it. Okay? And if you want to box it up and split it all up, you can do that as well. But I have my 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And that's it. For question 2, you'll do the same exact thing. This time you'll draw 3 rows of 5. Okay? Now, for question 3, you will need both of these pictures done. Okay? So I will go ahead and fill it in right here, and then y'all will fill it in over this side. So for question 3, it says, write a multiplication expression or multiplication sentence for the pictures or arrays in problem 1 and problem 2. Let the first factor in each expression represent the number of rows, okay? And this will be using the commutative properties to make sure that the equation is true. So looking over here at problem 1, how many rows do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first number has to be the number of rows, so I used 5. Now how many is in each row? 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now for problem 2, like I've said, you would have to draw your own picture of 3 rows of 5, and then you'll fill in this part of the multiplication sentence. And to make sure that it's true, think about the commutative property, okay? For question number 4, it's very similar to the problem set that we did yesterday as well. Part A is already done for you. 2 3s, 2 rows of 3 equals 6. 2 rows of 3 equals 6, okay? Now I'll do part B, and then y'all will finish the rest. The first number is given to you, 3 rows times, how many is in each row? 2 equals 6. 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, of 2 equals 6. And if you notice here, 3 and 3, 2 and 2, this is an example of the commutative property. Our factors have switched places, but our total, our sum, or the product, is still the same. And we'll do the rest for parts C through I. For part D, I'm going to do the very first one, and then y'all will complete the rest of them. The first part I would want you to do is to figure out the total, or the answer for every single one of them. So let's do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is, you can draw your dots if you need to. And then count them all up to find your total. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, and you would find the answer for B, C, D, E, and F. But then the next part is you have to draw a line to match. So which one of these facts on this side, okay, matches this equation? Okay, so I have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Well, how many 3's do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 3's. Okay, so 5 3's, which is the same thing as what? 5 times 3. Well, look, I have 5 times 3 right here. So I know that these two factors are the same, and 5 times 3 is also 5, 10, 15. It's also 15. So find the answers for the remaining problems and then figure out which one matches by drawing a line. All right. Number 6 is a long question. It's a big old part. It has lots of parts with it. It says Isaac picks 3 tangerines from his tree every day for 7 days. The first part here, it says use circles to draw an array. So you're not going to be using X's or squares this time. You're going to be drawing circles. But make sure you leave a little bit of space on the bottom. So don't make your picture super big. Leave some space here at the bottom because you will have to add on to it today. So you would draw your array of circles using 3 and 7. Those are your numbers for your array, okay? For part B, you would have to write and solve a multiplication sentence to find the total. So the question was, how many tangerines does Isaac pick in 7 days? So you would have to answer your multiplication write the multiplication sentence and then solve it. And this is going to match your picture up here. Okay, part C, this is why I said leave some extra space up here. You're going to add on to your picture. Isaac decides to pick 3 tangerines every day for 3 more days. Draw X's to show the new tangerines on the array in part A. So your original picture up here will be circles, and that will represent 3 tangerines for 7 days. You're going to add 3 more days or 3 more rows to your picture, and you're going to draw those with X's. So your picture up here, when it's complete, will have some rows of circles and then some rows of X's. Once you add your X's, you'll move on to part D, and you will write your new multiplication sentence here with the whole thing. So this is circle and X's all together, the whole picture once it's completed. Okay? For question number 7, it says, Sarah buys bottles of soap. Each bottle costs $2. How much money does Sarah spend if she buys 3 bottles of soap? So you would take these two numbers and you would write your multiplication sentence to figure out how much Sarah spent on soap. For part B, how much money does Sarah spend if she buys 6 bottles of soap? Well, you know she buys 6 bottles of soap now, and each bottle still costs $2. So how much does she spend on 6 bottles of soap? Fill in that multiplication sentence to find out. All right, and the very last thing is your exit ticket today for lesson number 8. This is very, very similar to question number 6, okay? So question 6 and the exit ticket are very similar. Mary Beth organizes stickers on a page in her notebook. She arranges them in 3 rows of 4 columns. That tells you exactly what you need to draw, okay? So part A says, draw an array to show Mary Beth stickers. So you will have to draw your picture here of 3 rows and 4 columns. Part B, it says, use your array to write a multiplication sentence that matches your picture. Part C says, label your array to show how you skip count to solve your multiplication sentence. So after every row, you would fill in your skip counting numbers like your teacher showed you today in class. So you might not have anything here. You can label your picture. You might not, this part in your exit ticket may be blank if you label your picture up here. If you want to skip count down here, that's fine, but it says to label your picture. And the very last question says, use what you know about the community property to write a different multiplication sentence for your array. Okay, so you would take what you know about the community property. You have a multiplication sentence here, and you're going to write the community property. Use that information you know to write a new multiplication sentence here that still matches your picture. All right, boys and girls, this was a refresher over lesson 8 today, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.